Nessa, and welcome back to my channel, Books with Nessa. So for today's video, I am bringing to you guys my most anticipated releases of 2021. So if you guys are wondering why I keep looking down, it is because I have a synopsis for all of these books pulled up in front of me on my laptop so I can read them and see. The first book that I have on my list is In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. Prince Tal has long awaited his coming of age tour. After spending most of his life cloistered behind palace walls as he learns to keep his forbidden magic secret, he can finally see his family's kingdom for the first time. His first taste of adventure comes just 2 days after the journey, when the crew discovers a mysterious prisoner on a burning derelict vessel. Tasked with watching over the prisoner, Tal is surprised to feel an intense connection with the roguish Athlin. So when Athlin leaps overboard and disappears, Tal feels responsible and heartbroken, knowing Athlin could not have survived in the open water. Now, just from that alone and the cover, I was like, this is gonna be a good book. We do have a male-male romance happening, and we have pirates, we have magic. Like, what more could you ask for? Next, we have Counting Down to You by Tashi Buhan. I'm so sorry if I am butchering that last name. A reserved Bangladesh teenager has 28 days to make the biggest decision of her life after agreeing to fake date her school's resident bad boy. How do you make 1 month last a lifetime? I'm here for the fake dating tropes, and that's what initially drew me into this book. And just seeing where it's going to go, I love that we are starting to get more Bangladesh representation in books, which is so exciting. So I just can't wait to see where these two characters are going to go, and the romance and how the fake dating works out and everything. Like, that's my stuff. Next on my list is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. She is the author of Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I absolutely loved. So I don't know anything about this book besides it is a sapphic romance, and that's all I needed to know. I trust Casey McQuiston. I loved her first book, so I'm expecting that I will love this one as well. Next, we have Son of the Storm by, and I already know that I'm gonna butcher this, so I'm so sorry, but it is by Suhi Davies Akunbawa. I know I said that wrong. It does say a young scholar's ambition threatens to reshape an empire determined to retain its might in this epic tale of violent conquest, buried histories, and forbidden magic. So when I saw the cover, I was like, oh, I need to read this. But reading just that little synopsis, I was like, this is going to be an adventure. All these books that are coming out in 2021, like, there's so much representation that is happening, and I love it. I'm probably gonna pre-order this book after this video, but like, this book, the cover is just stunning. It sounds amazing, and I just can't wait to read it. The next thing that I feel is like a no-brainer. Of course it had to be on this list, and it is Heartstopper, Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. I read the first 3 novels. I loved it so much. I miss Nick and Charlie. I read Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. Like, she is an automatic buy for me. I still don't have the rest of her books, but she is such an automatic buy for me. I love her, and as always, it is described as boy meets boy, boys become friends, boys fall in love. I don't even know what the 4th one's about, and that's okay. I trust Alice Oseman, so I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to seeing if they address some of the issues that we ended with in Volume 3. So now we have Off the Beat by Cameron Garrett. She is the author of Full Disclosure, which I am reading in the month of December, and the cover was what drew me in initially, and it says behind the scenes access of Almost Famous meets the searing revelation of #MeToo in the story of a teen journalist who uncovers the scandal of a decade. The Me Too movement is something so huge, so seeing that being brought into a YA book is, I think, it's gonna make an impact if Cameron does what I know that she can do. So I think it's gonna be a good read. Now this is one that I found out about like a couple of months ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, from the title alone, this sounds so cute and I don't need to know anything more. That is Jay's Gay Agenda by Jason June. So in this, it says, there's one thing Jay Collier knows for sure. He's a statistical anomaly as the only out gay kid in his small rural Washington town. While all his friends can't stop talking about their heterosexual hookups and relationships, Jay can only dream of his own first, compiling a romance to-do list of all the things he hopes to one day experience. His gay agenda. That just sounds so cute. Gimme. I feel like this is also a no-brainer that I have this on my list, and that is A Psalm of Storms and Silence, which is the sequel to A Songs of Race and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. I'm not gonna read the synopsis to this one just because I want to go into the second one not knowing anything, but I have high hopes for this one because A Songs of Race and Ruin I really enjoyed. I'm ready for this one, and the cover's stunning. Like all these covers, really, they're all stunning. 2021 is the year for stunning covers. Next is Ace of Spades by Farida Akibi. You know what? I'm just gonna put it at the bottom because I do not want to butcher this name more than I just did. Not gonna do that. But it says, an incendiary and utterly compelling thriller with a shocking twist that delves deep into the heart of institutionalized racism from an exceptional new YA voice. I love that in these YA novels, these authors are stepping forward and are not afraid to have these types of conversations about racism, about sexuality, and they're being received so well. So I'm excited for this one. I don't need to read anything else about it, and I honestly think that it's gonna be a good one. Next, I have Isn't It Romantic, which is the 4th book in the Bromance Book Club by Alyssa K. Adams. I don't know anything about this one except we are following the Russian. That's what they called him in the books. And it's like we don't really know his name. He's called the Russian. It's a book club. It's a romance book club with guys, and so they're really fun to read. I quite enjoyed the first 2. I haven't read the 3rd one yet, but I'm having high hopes. I have high hopes for this 4th one. I think it's gonna be really good because the Russian in the first 2 books, he was such a character, so the fact that he's getting his own book, I'm excited for. Next, I have Kind of Sort of Fine by Spencer Hall. For this one, it says, senior year changes everything for two teens in this poignant, funny coming-of-age story that looks at what happens when the image everyone has of us no longer matches who we really are. I feel like this is gonna be a deep one. Like, it's gonna be good. I can't wait to get my hands on it so I can read it. I've never read a book by Spencer Hall, but when this popped up in my Goodreads and I did a quick little skim of it, I was like, oh, this sounds like it's gonna hit hard. Next, I have Rise of the Sun by Leah Johnson. She is the author of You Should See Me in a Crown, and from the cover alone, I was like, oh, she cute, I want her. So it says, this is a novel about being brave enough to be true to yourself and learning to find joy even when times are unimaginably dark. I think this one's gonna be just as good as You Should See Me in a Crown. I say that as if I've read the book already, but I haven't, but I know that I'm gonna like it. I do know that it also has to do with music, and as a huge music lover, I was like, this is my kind of book. Next, I have The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris, and she is the author of Slay. In this one, we are following Alex, who has some powers where he can see into the future, and when he sees his brother's imminent death, he is racing against time to try to prevent it from happening. And that just sounds like such a good story. I feel like all of these sound like such good stories, and I should probably say that I'm looking forward to them, but you know what? I'm looking forward to these books. And this one, the color scheme of this cover is amazing. It's like drawing me in. The fact that this is about a Black teen who has these type of powers, and not only does he have to race against time, he has to grapple with their past, their future, and figure out what it means to really be a Black man in America in the present. So I think it's gonna be a fun. It's not gonna be a fun time, but like it is gonna be a fun time. You know what I'm trying to say? Next is by another author that, again, I don't need to really know what the synopsis is to know that I'm gonna read it. And that is Your Age Eva Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is the third book in the Brown Sisters trilogy. And like it says in the title, we're following Eve Brown, and that's all I know. If it's anything like Chloe and Danny, like I have a good feeling about Eve Brown. This is going to be a good way to round out this trilogy. Next, I have When You Look Like Us by Pamela N. Harris. I don't know anything about this one. It says, when you look like us, brown skin, brown eyes, black braids, and fades, people think you're trouble. No one looks twice at a missing Black girl from the projects because she must have brought whatever happened to her upon herself. I, Jay Murphy, can admit that for a minute, I thought my sister Nicole got too caught up with her boyfriend, a drug dealer, and his friends. But she's been gone too long now. If I hadn't hung up on her that night, she'd be spending time with our grandma. If I was a better brother, she'd be finishing a senior year instead of being another name on a missing persons list. It's time to step up and do what the Newport News Police Department won't. Wow. This one I think is going to be really good because this is a real problem that the Black community do face. The fact that this is being brought into a YA story, I think this is going to be a good one to read. It's going to be a hard-hitting one. It's going to face a lot of issues. It's going to talk about a lot of issues, and I just can't wait to read it. The last one that I have on my list is the Infinity Quartz by Akemi Dawn Bowman, the author of Starfish, which I still haven't gotten my hands on yet. But here it says we are following 18-year-old Naomi Miyamoto, who is certain her life is just beginning. She has a great family, just graduated high school, and is on her way to a party where her entire class is waiting for her, including, most importantly, the boy she's been in love with for years. The only problem, she's murdered before she gets there. This is gonna be a good one. I honestly also think just from the cover and the little bit that I read that this might also be a 5-star for me in 2021. So I can't wait to get my hands on this one. It looks like it's gonna be a good one. I've heard good things about Akemi Dawn Bowman's work, so I'm looking forward to going into this one. That is going to do it for this week's video. If you haven't already, why not like and leave a comment down below of what you guys are looking forward to going into 2021. I would love to know. And yep, I'll see you guys in the next video.